The Merchant of Venice is a tragic comedy. Even though it ends in a happy ending for most of the characters, it does have the tragic element and the tragic character of Shylock. First, we have Antonio, who is the Merchant of Venice. He's the main character of the play. And we have Bassanio, who's Antonio's friend. Antonio's friend, Bassanio, is in love with Portia, and we'll explain who Portia is in a moment. Antonio, being a merchant, obviously will have a lot of friends, associates, and people that he works with. Next, we have Lorenzo, another friend. He is in love with Jessica. And then we have Portia. She's the rich heiress. Next, we have Nerissa. This is Portia's waiting maid, and she's in love with Gratiano. And of course, Gratiano is in love with her. Then we have Balthasar. This is Portia's servant, who later on, Portia pretends to be him. And remember, we mentioned Jessica. Jessica is the daughter of Shylock, and he's the villain of the story. He is a rich Jew moneylender, and the story is between him and the Merchant of Venice. There's this beautiful Portia, and she has many suitors, mainly three that we have in the play. But we have Bassanio, who's truly in love with her and wants to marry her, but he does not have enough money to do so. So he goes to his friend Antonio, the Merchant of Venice, and he has a lot of money. However, at the moment, all of his money is tied up in business. See, he's a merchant, so all of his things and valuables and the money that he's going to get way in these ships. So he goes to his friend Shylock. And Shylock takes the opportunity to set certain conditions of the loan. If Antonio did not pay the debt within 3 months, then he would have to pay it in full with a pound of his own flesh. That is the problem that Antonio has with Shylock. For example, he criticized him for charging interest, which at the time was prohibited for Christians. Yet Shylock used the Bible and stated that Jacob experimented in animal husbandry, and therefore he felt he had biblical grounds for charging interest. This is when the common quote by Antonio is stated. He says, "The devil can cite scripture for his purpose." Basically, that means that anyone can interpret the scripture for their advancement or for their own agenda. And many people also think that this is a Bible verse, but it's not. It is a quote from Shakespeare. Another biblical allusion is that of mercy. And here we're talking about the mercy of God. And we understand that Portia requested mercy from Shylock. Of course, this is where Portia is pretending to be a law clerk named Balthasar. The law is the law, and you had to follow it to the letter. However, Portia found a loophole. Mercy is an attribute of God. It is an attribute that Shylock did not have, especially towards Antonio. Portia, as Balthasar, speaks to the court and pleads with Shylock to have mercy.
But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself, and earthly power doth then show likest gods, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
Shylock did not change his mind. However, Portia found a loophole. Shylock could definitely, according to the law, have the pound of flesh. But that's it. He couldn't spill any blood. He couldn't take any blood because that was not written into the contract. Shylock was very, very angry. But let's hear a monologue to find out why Shylock was so angry. And was he a villain or was he a victim?
You've disgraced me, hindered me $500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, called my friends, heated mine enemies, and what's his reason? I'm a Jew. I've not a Jew eyes. I've not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions, fed with the same food, with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? If you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you and the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? My revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute. And it shall go hard. I will better the instruction.
Final thoughts. Was Shylock a villain or a victim? Could the reason he did not have mercy is because he was never given mercy? Can you replace Jew in that monologue and repeat that monologue using any other race, culture, or ethnicity?